I got nothing against Sean McDermott. But the Bills are 2-3 in their last 5 games. Blowout loss to Miami and loss to Atlanta. Right now, they have the same amount of wins as San Francisco that's running out of players and only one more than Carolina. And here's my thing with Sean McDermott. Something's always leaking, and it takes him an entire offseason to figure it out. You don't have an offseason. You're wasting Josh Allen's prime. The running game took years to solve. Now the passing game, well, I have to wait until next year to solve it? I mean, Justin Herbert doesn't have his tackles or his number one running back, and Jim Harbaugh's got him in a 3-game winning streak. Their offensive line is atrocious. 3-game winning streak. San Francisco has Mac Jones quarterbacking. The receivers aren't healthy. Where's Ayuk? Where's Ricky Pearsall? Mac Jones yesterday went 33 of 39. Buffalo has been mostly healthy, schedule 3rd easiest in the league, and yet they have 1 win over a team with a winning record. So in their 3 losses, they've averaged 15 points. With Josh Allen and James Cook, how is that possible? And that's my knock on defensive head coaches. They can't solve offensive issues in season. They need their GM to solve it. Cross your fingers, hopefully in the offseason. Andy Reid, offensive line, solves it in season. Sean McVay, running back, receiver, Puka's hurt. Puka's hurt, what do? 4 tight ends in London against the Jags. Offensive coaches can solve problems with their unit and their young quarterback, and they can do it in a week or 2. Running game for Buffalo took forever to solve. The GM finally had to solve it. The passing game now. It can't take this long to solve stuff with James Cook and Josh Allen. I mean, John Elway had a good coach in Dan Reeves. He needed a better one in Mike Shanahan. And I mean, I got nothing against McDermott, but watch the league. As you get into this time, I mean, Justin Herbert is working with backup everything on the offensive line, number 3 running back, forgettable tight ends. Does he have a number 1 receiver? And they're on a 3-game winning streak. You just have to solve stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest indictment on Sean McDermott isn't even like the passing game or this or that. It's the fact that he can't consistently get his side of the ball right. He can't consistently have this defense where you're just like, well, we know the Bills are going to have a top defense. They got Sean McDermott. We know they're going to have a top defense. I mean, the Dolphins absolutely feasted offensively. I mean, it was just, it was, I mean, Tua, he's giving you gifts, 2 interceptions. Those 2 interceptions were gifts. And yet they still hung 30. They still hung 30. The Dolphins went to the red zone one time. They were in the red zone and they still hung 30. That's just bad. That's just really, really bad. 32 carries, 197 yards rushing, 6.2 yards per carry. And obviously Achane having some of these massive runs. It's just so inconsistent how 1 minute you make Patrick Mahomes look like he should retire, never play football ever again. And then the next moment you let the Miami Dolphins hang 30. It's just crazy. And it's so funny because I didn't get to watch this game live. Because I don't watch 9 games at the same time because you don't actually know what you're seeing when you're watching all the games at the same time. So I usually pick 2 or 3 games. I watch those as closely as I can. I pause them a lot, let it get a delay, so so I can actually see the flow of the game. And I didn't pick the Bills-Dolphins game because I was just like, oh, it's the Bills-Dolphins. Like, I'm sure the Bills will win. I'm sure this will be pretty straightforward. Nothing to report, even if it's a close game or blowout win by the Bills, that is. It's just kind of like, yeah, it was against the Dolphins, whatever. It means less to me. for that batch of games. I picked the Bears Giants because I wanted to see how Caleb continued to progress. I picked the Vikings versus the Ravens because I wanted to see what JJ continues to look like, what Lamar looks like against a significantly better defense. And I wanted to see Drake May and Baker Mayfield, right? Like I wanted to see what those, specifically what those quarterbacks looked like in those moments against those defenses, etc. I was not anticipating a Josh Allen Tua game, quite frankly. And that's what makes this game so absurd. But it's so funny because I didn't watch the game yet, and so now everyone's commenting and saying, "When are you doing the Buffalo Bills game? When are you doing why are you not doing Josh Allen game?" And it's just like, guys, I've made a video for every Buffalo Bills loss, when they lost to the Patriots, when they lost to the Falcons, like, or the Falcons, like, what are you talking about right now? Like it's so absurd. It's so absurd. It's actually kind of sad. But everyone in the comment section is like, what are you going to say about Josh Allen? What are you going to say about Josh Allen? What are you going to say about Josh Allen? And I'm thinking to myself, wow, what did Josh Allen do? This must be like, Josh Allen must have really, wow, he must have played awful. Like, what happened? What happened? And I look at the box score and I go, okay, the box score kind of looks like, whatever. I'm like, I see the interception, I see the fumble. And I saw the one interception because I was watching the one game and they do the game break or whatever. So I saw the red zone interception. So I'm like, okay, so like, what is this? Let me take a look. And so now I go through and watch the game and I'm like, Josh Allen wasn't the problem in this game. What are you guys talking about right now? And where do you think that Josh Allen deserves the treatment of, if he's not perfect, it's proof he's not good, when he has such a level of consistency and greatness and a track record of showing up? I think John Middlecoff actually said this a couple weeks ago, where, when you talk about like a Patrick Mahomes, when you talk about a Josh Allen, they're not graded week to week. Their worth isn't graded week to week like any of these younger quarterbacks, because their resume is just volumes and volumes and volumes of greatness. Okay, so let's get that out of the way and be very clear. A JJ McCarthy is very much graded week to week to week. A Bo Nix, very much week to week. A Jaden Daniels, a very much week to week. Okay, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow. No, they are not. They've earned a level of consistency and an incredibly high level and great play that it is not, if they have a bad game or a rough outing, that it's just, we have to have a conversation about, man, he's really not good, blah, 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 blah. And even in this game was actually peak Buffalo Bills. Yes, Josh Allen did not play elite. He was not otherworldly. He did not play like he played against the Kansas City Chiefs, no doubt. But this offense was such a mess. Okay, first off, the run game was disconnected. 13 carries for 53 yards. Josh Allen, the one fumble he had, it was like a cartoon. He had an army of Dolphins players on him because, again, they can't move the ball. They need Josh Allen just to be a monster. He's literally carrying the pile like 10, 15, 20 yards and then gets whacked and gets a fumble. Like, shocking that something like that could possibly happen. I mean, this is what leads to the fumble. I mean, he's just got two Dolphins, but you can't even see Josh Allen there. You literally you just see his head and a little bit of Allen on the back of his jersey. But he is just being engulfed as he's carrying the Dolphins players with him like 10, 15 or so yards, and then just gets walloped, and then the ball comes out. The interception was just a bad throw. No doubt about that. But no one's open. There was that one 3rd and long scramble that he had where, like, he could have taken off and taken the yards, but he's just like, I gotta push down the field. And this is what Josh Allen has done now this entire season, because just no one's getting open and they struggle to move the ball, especially when they're not running, and especially if Cook is gonna fumble the ball as well. When they were driving, he just constantly has to look for big plays. There's not enough. There's no ability for them to play small ball. It's just big play, big play. Even against the Kansas City Chiefs, outside of the run game, every throw had to be essentially a big throw. Every throw was a big time throw. But Josh Allen had to do this thing where he goes up to the line of scrimmage and he has to scramble. I mean, like, he scrambled for like 10 seconds and waits to finally find someone open. So if you watch this game, which I doubt many of you did, I doubt many of you even had access to it, because I know some of the fans that are coming to talk about this game, and I'm like, you probably didn't even have access to this game, and I know you're not paying for NFL ticket, so you're just watching random highlights or red zone or whatever. When you actually watch this game, if you think that the difference between winning and losing was Josh Allen in this moment, you are significantly confused. You could not be any more confused right now. You could not. Okay. Again, to be very clear, this was not some great Josh Allen game. I'm not saying that Josh Allen doesn't deserve any blame or that Josh Allen was perfect and flawless and this was just his team. No. That's not what I'm saying. Josh Allen absolutely could have and should have been better. But right now, this Bills team is just such a problem. And I made videos talking about that before they beat the Panthers, before they beat the Chiefs. I had whole breakdown videos discussing the issues with this offense and defense. And those didn't just get wiped away after beating the Kansas City Chiefs. In fact, after they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I came here and said, I don't know if the Bills are better than the Kansas City Chiefs. I said, if the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills played each other again this coming Sunday, and this is what I said on Monday, and I think even I probably said it Sunday after the game, I was like, I don't know, you know, like if you said that they were playing each other again on Sunday at the playoffs start, I'm like, I'm not necessarily picking the Bills. Like I don't know about that. I was like, it just seems like it's still gonna be a coin flip here. You know, it just seems like it's just gonna be like, I don't know, man. We'll have to just wait and see. The Bills played perfect. The Chiefs did not, and it was still a one-score game. And that's the problem with the Bills. And then them beating and rolling the Panthers, I think it was the Panthers, whoever they rolled, meant nothing to me. But this is a bad loss. You know, no doubt about it. The Patriots are winning on the road. Tough game against the Bucks, against a great defense, on the road against the Bills, right? They're coming away with these wins, and they're the better coach team. They have the better offensive coach and the better defensive coach. Straight up. Better offensive coach, better defensive coach. I've been yelling and calling for Sean McDermott to get fired for years now. And it's just, these moments really highlight that. Really highlight that. And now, you got a game against the Bucks. You got a game against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks, which Baker was disrupted a lot against the New England Patriots defense. His box score ended up looking pretty good, and he didn't play bad by any means. He played good. He had a good game, but like a big chunk of his production came in the final drive when they were already down by 2 scores and whatnot. But he was contained. He was contained throughout the course of the game. Made a couple really nice plays, especially the opening drive and the scripted drive. And again, the final drive, which is kind of like, whatever. But it's just like, you just saw you know what the Patriots did to you. We just saw what Drake May and the Patriots did to the Buccaneers. Now you're playing them. It's like, what do you got? And then you're going up against the Texans. It's like, listen, I know the Texans just pulled off a win, but like, they're not good. The Steelers are clearly beatable. The Bengals are the Bengals right now. They're kind of a fireworks show, but like, their defense is awful. Then you're playing the Patriots again. Then you got the Browns. By then, it feels like it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. Then you got the Eagles and the Jets. So the wins are there, and the tough games of like, who are we this year are there as well. The Eagles, the Patriots, the Bucks, the Steelers. You get to really kind of figure out, where are we right now? Who are we? What can we do? And can we figure this thing out? But this has been a really messy, inconsistent season. And then you kind of start to go back in time and you start to say, we could have lost to the Ravens. In fact, we probably should have lost to the Ravens. That Dolphins game, Tua gave us some gifts. They were driving, and then there was that interception. Like, We were kind of fortunate to come away with that win. And we lose to the Patriots. We lose to the Falcons, right? We beat the Chiefs, which is great. That's always great. Then we get rolled by the Dolphins. This easily could be like a 4-win team right now. Easily. And I know people don't always love those types of comments, but it's true. I don't shy away from those comments when you're looking at things in a whole. When another team has been playing great, for instance, like technically you could have lost to the Chiefs. I'm not going to necessarily make that argument, but the Bills played great. Like people say that the Eagles could have lost to the Rams in the playoffs. And it's like, yeah, it's technically true, and it's okay to discuss and kind of, look at it from like a full picture view. But the Eagles also made some elite special plays and huge plays, especially on defense, Jalen Carter, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't look at that game and say like, the Eagles were fortunate to be able to swallow up Matthew Stafford and just bully their way through with some fumbles. Like, no, it's not the way it works. But when you get a gift of an interception, when you're not playing great football and you still come away with the win, it's like that's when it's easier for me in my back of my mind to be like, that could have been a loss easily. That easily could have been a loss. Or if you're relying on some sort of fluky play, like even the Eagles against the Rams now in the regular season when they had multiple blocked kicks, you're just like, all right, you won that game, that's great, it's exciting, but like, let's be serious, let's be clear here, that could have been a loss. Easily. You can't bank on blocking multiple field goals to win a game. Like that's not the recipe for success. So make no mistake about it, this team could easily, at a bare minimum, be a 4-5 team. And that's inexcusable. That's absolutely positively inexcusable. And Colin's talking about the Chargers right now and Harbaugh, and I was screaming, move on from Sean McDermott and hire Harbaugh. I was screaming for that. I was screaming for Ben Johnson. Fire Sean McDermott and hire Ben Johnson. And they just stayed still. They just stayed still. And it really shows. Look how much the offense has changed with the Chicago Bears now that Ben Johnson is there. Look how much the entire culture and team and franchise has changed with Harbaugh and the Chargers. These franchises have been transformed. Absolutely transformed. And the Bills are just being the Bills right now. And I think if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you should be furious. You should be so angry. And it's kind of crazy. Because the Bills and the Ravens keep having similar fates. And yet their level of consistency with coaching and how they either support or make things a lot more difficult for their quarterback constantly shows itself. Constantly. But the Bills have done exceptionally poor jobs at supporting Josh Allen and this team. And when you have Sean McDermott as a defensive head coach, you expect that defense to be special. You expect that defense to be elite. Even when it's banged up and has some injuries, you expect a coach like Sean McDermott to be able to find a way. To find a way to at least be competitive, to at least be manageable. And not just, what do you want us to do? We're injured. I see it with I've seen Robert Saleh be able to do it. I've seen Fangio be able to do it. I've seen Spags be able to do it. I've seen Brian Flores be able to. I see coordinators and coaches all over the NFL find ways to do it, especially against inferior opponents. The one little caveat for this loss right here is that I do believe in the offensive mind of Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins. I do believe him as an offensive mind. And so it's not surprising to me that he can find ways to slither his way to put up points against a team like the Buffalo Bills, or any team for that matter. And we all make fun of Tua, and he brings a lot on it himself, but like Tua's not just this bottom of the barrel, just slouch of a quarterback. He can be inconsistent and he can't stay upright, but he also can make some really nice throws and some really big plays. He was at the head of one of like the most high-powered offenses, and their coach was the coach of one of the most high-powered offenses, and were the brains of that when he had Tyreek Hill and whatnot. So there is always a piece of that potential in any game with the Miami Dolphins. And over these last couple of years, they've been able to show that with Tua and Mike McDaniel. So that much is true, and so that is the one caveat. But on the other side of that, Sean McDermott should also be able to be that guy that knows how to swallow up Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins as well. But I think even in this moment, you can see that Mike McDaniel is a better offensive coach than Sean McDermott is that of a defensive coach. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills? Josh Allen, are you losing faith in them? Did you ever have any faith in them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.